everyone, and welcome back to our part 2 of our 2023 Walt Disney World trip. I'm Rachel.
And I'm Mark.
And we
left on a cliffhanger.
We did.
Intentionally. Get people to listen to the second episode.
So,
Grandpa, Mimi, and Auntie had just arrived, joining Mom, Dad, Luke, Grandma, and Papa.
Yeah. So, as we said in the last episode, we're at the Beach Club Resort for these last days, and we're in a 2-bedroom villa at the Beach Club Resort. So there was plenty of room for people to spread out, and it didn't feel, everyone kind of had their own space, which was very, very nice. And I think this is where things start to pick up in the trip. We definitely get a little more busy.
We did get more busy.
So they arrive.
They arrived. And they did, in fact, arrive.
They have arrived. The Eagle has landed. Okay, I'm done.
Thank you.
So
we went to Cape May the next morning for breakfast.
We went to Cape May for breakfast. It is a character breakfast and a buffet. Food was wonderful. Mm-hmm. Characters included Minnie Mouse, Daisy, Donald, and Goofy. Mm-hmm. So there was no Pluto and there was no Mickey in this restaurant, but they're so cute. And
Minnie,
all their
Donald,
beach
Daisy, and Goofy
outfits.
were all decked out in their beach outfit.
Yeah, so cute. So we were excited to see how Luke reacted to them because he saw Daisy and Donald from afar a few days prior to this in the parks in Animal Kingdom. So we were like, he's either going to love it or he might scream and cry and be terrified. But he liked it. It took him a little while to warm up.
It did.
To get used to it.
And Goofy was definitely his favorite, which surprised me because Goofy is so big.
I know,
and
he's so tall.
Little.
Yeah.
Big, little. And he loved it.
No one can see you doing that.
That's okay. I know that I did it.
Okay.
And they can all imagine as they listen to the podcast my hands going from little to big.
Yeah.
Big to little.
Right.
Anyways. He loved Goofy. One of the best moments of the vacation, he gave Goofy a high five. Collectively, everyone in the corner of the restaurant that we were in.
Even 2 other tables.
Went, aww.
It was the only character that he actually reached out himself to touch. He did grab Minnie's nose, but Goofy put his hand out for a high five, and he reached up his little hand, and it is on video. So,
and I will say too that the characters are great.
They are.
They know what they're doing. They will not get in a kid's face and be over the top and scare them. They are very, especially with little ones.
Yeah.
They're very slow. They get down on their level. They do everything right.
They kind of start far away at first. Right. They kind of crouch down. They'll get a little closer.
They'll
reach out their hand.
Touching their hand or something.
Just to kind of gauge how each child is going to react. And at first, Donald was the first one. And I don't know how I felt about it at first. But he kept his distance and was still trying to, play peekaboo and stuff. But, Luke was kind of not really sure about this. But he came back around. We got to see everybody, I think, twice.
Everybody but Goofy, yeah.
But Goofy twice. Yeah, we only saw Goofy one time. But they do make their rounds to every table. And you will get to see
more
them.
on this later, but I cannot speak highly enough of character dining. It is more expensive than regular dining.
It is.
But you are alleviating the need for you to have to wait in 30, 45-minute lines. Sometimes longer to meet a character.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, so it alleviates that whole thing. You get to see them. You get them to yourself, usually for longer periods of time than you would in another meet and greet setting, and you get food.
And multiple times. So we had them for a few minutes each time, and we got 2 rounds.
Yeah, they'll usually come around the second time or third time, so depending on how long
you're there. But we had quite a few people, so it did take a little bit of time, and we took turns eating with the baby and all that fun stuff. But that was an early morning. But right from there, we kind of had everybody packed up and ready to go.
We did.
And from there, we headed on out to the boat at the Beach Club. You can take a boat.
The Friendship Boats.
Friendship Boats over to Hollywood Studios. So we went there. We knew going into this that this park doesn't have a ton, literally maybe 1, 2 maybe
really only two rides effectively that he could ride.
That are any height.
Right.
Right. So, I mean,
Toy
there
Story
are
Midway Mania, which is the arcade game where you're on the cars
Yep.
and you're trying to get things, and Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
Yeah.
There are several shows, obviously, that we could have watched, and we did go to, like, Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy. That was awesome. There was so much happening in this short 12...
I think even us as adults were like...
Sensory overload.
There's visuals, there's sounds, there's a car.
Maters
Lightning is there.
singing. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But it did keep his attention
Smoke.
well, and he enjoyed it. Like, he really enjoyed it.
He was. He didn't really have a reaction. He was just, like, taking it all in. His face was just kind of like, I'm just staring and just... can't believe what's going on.
But that is something to keep in mind at Hollywood Studios, is that if you have a really little one, if you're not going to do shows, which we didn't do many, there is really a limited amount of rides that you can actually get on there.
Yeah.
Mickey and Minnie's, though, was awesome.
Yes.
He loved Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
I kind of forgot that it does whip you around a little bit more, like, than I thought in my head. Because, I mean, for me, it's not, like, thrilling. So maybe I thought, like, oh, it's really not that bad. But then we had him in the middle of us, and I was like, oh my goodness, we are getting kind of tossed around. And he was laughing. He was smiling ear to ear, and he actually liked the whipping around and the quick turns and the wind blowing on him. And I think everyone was kind of like, oh no, I think he might be upset.
And I think it was right on his attention span of like, oh, quick I'm going to do this, now I'm going to do that, now I'm going to do that. Like, if you ever ride this ride, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's as if a 5-year-old sat down and was telling you a story. We've all been there with a younger person trying to tell us a story, and then all of a sudden they're talking about squirrels, and then they're talking about peaches and oranges, and then they're talking about
the trip to the zoo,
and then they're talking about that time I threw up on something, and it's like all over the place.
Like, whoa.
And you're like, how could you fit all of that into a 2-minute conversation?
Yeah.
That's exactly what this ride's like.
And that's what they intended.
Right.
With this whole thing. They intended it to be really quick, imagination, like you're going into the cartoon world.
In the desert, then you're going down a waterfall, then there's a tornado and a carnival, and then you're on a street and there's jackhammering, and you're underwater, and there's an octopus playing a trumpet, and then all of a sudden you're dancing with Daisy in a studio. It's like all over the place, but it is a fun ride.
So like you think there's no like actual theme, it's because there's like really not. It's just... It is. Mm-hmm. It just is.
And it was perfect for him.
And he loved it. I definitely think we could have done that multiple times. Mm-hmm. I definitely think since he liked it then, I do think by the next time we go, he'll be a little older and he might even like it more because he can understand things a little better. Mm-hmm. So that was really fun. And he liked Toy Story Mania. He did not play, but he sat in between my mom and I. And again, the kind of turns you whip around, you spin around, he was smiling and laughing, and he didn't wear the 3D glasses, obviously, but he definitely might be a ride kid. He definitely likes the whip arounds and little
takes
speed.
After his mother.
Yeah, I'm more of the thrill seeker. So then it was time for lunch, and it was hot that day.
It was very hot. We went to Star Wars Land because your parents had never been, and your sister had never been, so we went and we did some stuff in Star Wars Land, and then we headed back to the hotel.
Yeah, it was a hot day.
Went in the pool,
sweating.
We needed it.
Yeah, it cooled off after that day a little bit.
Did.
When I say cool off, it was still hot, but it was not as hot as that
for Central
day.
Florida. It was cooler.
Yeah, so yeah, we got to go in the pool. Luke loved the pool as always. Kind of hung out in the room, and then theme, we go back at night. Mm-hmm. We had Oga's Cantina reservations, and it's more of a bar. They do have like 2 options for food, like some kind of charcuterie board, and then like something else, but it's mostly for the drinks and the atmosphere. Mm-hmm. They have alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages, but it is really cool, and it kind of...
Anybody can get into. It's not like a bar where it's like 21 and over.
Yep,
like we brought Luke in there, and he loved all the music and lights and everything that was happening.
And the drinks, like mine had the dry ice in it, so it was like smoking and bubbling. And he had lunch in there. It was kind of hard the way we were sitting to
dinner in there.
Oh, dinner! Yeah, he had his dinner in there. It was kind of a little squishy, but made it work. It is communal seating in that, just to note. Some people are not fans of that. Some people don't care. But
be ready to sit with strangers. We sat with a couple who...
I thought with our group size,
fine, but
we wouldn't probably do that. But yeah, they did. They, instead of sat 10 people, two random people were with us. But they were very nice. He didn't really talk to them, but, you know, they were nice. And then I honestly forgot what we did. I don't know.
So that's actually when we rode Toy Story Mania. And
yes.
then we ended up going and getting a Lightning Lane for Rock and Roller Coaster.
And then we had our very first
mini
only and very, very small meltdown.
Yes.
By
I think it's almost unavoidable.
It is.
But it kind of came out and he was happy. He was loving life.
There were no signs that we were getting towards that point.
And then all of a sudden...
he gets a little crabby or a little like whatever. It was just all of a sudden, I am done.
Yes.
And we were just kind of like, oh.
Hysterical screaming, like Grammy and Papa were going to take him and just sit with him while everybody else rode Rock and Roller Coaster.
Because he was fine, and then all of a sudden, not fine.
Breakdown happened. Grandpa, Mimi, and Auntie got to ride Rock and Roller Coaster. Mom and Dad got to go back to the hotel.
Well, you tried to go back with him.
I did,
and
but
he
was
not
having any of it.
Anybody but me. And that is the pleasure and honor I have as being the mother.
Mom, he doesn't want me.
Because someday, he isn't going to need you anymore. So it was kind of disappointing for me, I won't lie. We didn't get to ride Rock and Roller Coaster or Tower of Terror. But he needed me, and like we said, we had the expectation, or I did, that we might not get to ride these things. And that is, we were on the boat back, and I looked at, if you remember, I looked at you, and I was like, oh, the sacrifices we make. So it was a little disappointing, but, you know, we went in not expecting to do everything that we normally would do, and he's obviously more important, and he was done, and he was ready for bed.
That's something that, you know, we're going to talk about the next day, and kind of what happened with you going back to Magic Kingdom with your allergy issue that you had.
We just talked about this in like the first episode too, or second one maybe.
Things may not go exactly as you planned, and that's okay. Like, you can't get frustrated, you can't get upset about it. Like, it just is what it is. We wanted to ride Rock and Roller Coaster. It just didn't happen, and that's okay. Like,
we were so close, though. I think that was more...
We were so close, but we still had a good time.
Yeah, no, we did. We did.
And the next day, we can kind of go through real quick the morning part. Like, we went to Epcot in the morning. We did some more food and wine. Nemo again, because why not? He loves it.
Nemo swimming out to sea.
We rode Guardians, which we'll get back to that in a second. I want to go back to that.
Yeah.
But then we did our pool nap in the afternoon.
Yes.
And we went back to Magic Kingdom. Well, when Rachel woke up, Rachel sometimes gets these like allergy attacks where her nose just runs.
It's
like a
really
faucet
water.
Turned on.
It's just water. Like, it is, just won't stop. Just drips. And I haven't had one in a very, very long time. So it might be something.
Ask her if she takes her allergy medication regularly, like she should.
No, I don't. But I feel like it is a theme in Disney.
Maybe that's the reason
like halfway through the trip.
Maybe
I get it.
You should take your allergy medication on a regular basis.
All right. That's fine. But I'm saying maybe it's something in Florida or in Disney that it does bother me. Because it does seem to be a trend that in Disney I have like one allergy.
There is.
It is like a theme.
It's bound to happen.
So it did happen.
We had Liberty Tree Tavern reservations in Magic Kingdom,
I held strong.
Which was lovely. You got through it. We had our ooey gooey coffee.
I could still taste
cake.
everything too, which was nice. Even though I was like, it wasn't stuffy. And my nose was running, so I could still taste everything, and everything was wonderful.
That's great.
But that
because everything should be wonderful there. Because let me tell you, folks, if you like Thanksgiving dinner and you like turkey and pot roast and mashed potatoes and mac and cheese and stuffing and green beans,
so good.
The salad. I don't know what they dressed it with. This
they said
deliciousness.
There's a mock, like the recipe. You can get the recipe
online. Sure,
We're gonna have to try it.
The whole meal, from the rolls to the salad to the main course to this ooey gooey toffee cake for dessert.
It was so good.
Absolutely delicious.
I don't even know what was in it. It was just so good.
I can understand why some people are like, oh, it's too heavy for the middle of the summer on a Magic Kingdom day. I get that, but I don't care. You just got to embrace it.
Yeah. It is so tasty. It is so good. It is dense. There are heavy foods there, like the mashed potatoes and the turkey and the rolls and... Was there stuffing? I didn't even know.
There was stuffing. Yes.
Oh, I didn't have any of that.
It's very good.
But the green beans, I mean, really, I would get... I don't even really like green beans back home, but something about these green beans are so good.
So Liberty Tree was good. That night, I had stacked several lightning lanes. We can talk about how Genie Plus works and kind of how you can do it, but I had stacked up 3 of them. We had Jungle Cruise, we had Peter Pan, and I think I had Haunted Mansion. Yep. So it was going to be a lovely evening after Liberty Tree. We were going to get Luke on all these rides, and then the allergies hit, and we had to go back to the hotel. And that sucked, but it's okay.
It's all right. I was very upset. I didn't feel good. So imagine just not feeling good, but then also being disappointed because now you don't get to do... You feel like you lose a night. Right. So I was stuck, but I also didn't want to push myself and be miserable doing these things. And I just wanted to sleep it off, get some medicine in me for the Zyrtec and the Benadryl in my system. So the next day I would be good. So I just had to take a deep breath and roll with it. And I did. We went back. I went to sleep. Luke was very good as far as going right to sleep. So I thank him. Someday I'll thank him for this. But we all kind of slept, and I'm glad that I would have normally probably pushed myself, but everyone was like, just go back, it's fine. And I felt, because Mark and I were kind of the leaders of this thing, that I felt like I had to like stay strong, but they're like, it's okay, we can do stuff or we won't do stuff.
Right.
Like, it's okay.
Kids are going to get stomach aches, people are going to have things happen, somebody may have a headache or whatever. These things are going to happen. Yep. It's okay. Like, you don't need to do everything. To get back to an earlier episode that I hope you all listened to, and if you didn't, go back and listen to episode 2. You're not going to get to everything. That's okay. Like, if things change, if plans change, it's okay. Yeah. It's not the end of the world.
It was hard, but worth it.
It may be hard, but it's worth getting better. Yes. So that way the next day we had an even better day. Yes. Before we talk about that next day, though.
Let's go back to Guardians.
Go back to Guardians of the Galaxy.
You're hitting the table. You're getting all crazy.
I did hit the table. I'm very excited about Guardians of the Galaxy. Okay. Do you remember the 21st night of September?
So we got that song.
We did.
And it's funny because everybody, that we watch on YouTube and stuff, and just... everybody. I just feel like everybody wants that song for some reason. And there are really good songs, other choices. But first try, we got that song. Wow. Is really what I have to say about Guardians. We didn't know what to expect. It was our first time going on it. And it's been out for like a year now, right? Almost?
Maybe-ish. It's been out for a while.
It's been out for a while. And it was not open the last time we went.
No.
And so we were really looking forward to this. So that reverse launch, kind of crazy.
Crazy cool.
Crazy. And I didn't know. I definitely can see, if you do get motion sick, how it could make you a little uneasy. But honestly, I get motion sick on Star Tours. So if anyone has been on that one, it's like 3D glasses. And this, you don't wear those. So it's not like... There's still pictures in front of you, but they're not 3D. But you are moving past them. So I guess if you're very, very, very sensitive, I can see how but I was fine.
And your roller coaster car is going to turn
with the screen.
Right. It's not spinning, but it will rotate periodically through the experience, which was unbelievable.
So both my dad and my sister were a little concerned about it because of motion sickness stuff. She was like, as long as it's not spinning. And I was like, no, it's not spinning. It just kind of turns with what you're supposed to be looking at. So it just kind of guides you, which is, again, just crazy cool.
Great length.
It was long.
Great thrills. Great music. What more could you ask for?
I know.
It was literally...
and the characters are so funny.
Like, Guardians. This may be a bold statement, I know. That may be the best roller coaster I've ever rode.
Ever.
For the all-around experience.
For all, Yeah.
I think that may be... Is it the most thrilling? No. Is it the most, like, creative? Maybe. But, like, for the all-around experience from beginning to end, and the theme and the storyline that they play with throughout the whole thing.
And the queue. And
the queue before, and then even your post-ride, like your backstage. Like, there's a lot of little details there
backstage
that are amazing. So, definitely Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah. If you even think you like roller coasters, you have to ride it. Hands down.
Even if...
Tron was fun, but... Guardians definitely
controversial.
Guardians is the winner. I don't care what anybody says.
I have to agree with that. We didn't get to ride.
Speaking of Tron,
yes,
we should transition to the next day because we have 3 more days to get through.
We do. Let's go.
So, next morning we went to Magic Kingdom. We did a whole bunch of rides. We can talk about how to effectively use parks, especially like Magic Kingdom. But the 2 mornings that we spent at Magic Kingdom, we did 4 rides both of those days within an hour and a half.
Yeah, we split the park in half.
Using Genie
by
Plus.
Land. Yeah, no Genie Plus.
Okay.
Shocking.
4 rides in an hour and a half.
No Genie
without
Plus.
Using Genie Plus. If you know what you're doing, you can effectively use your time in these parks.
And not have
Genie
to pay
Plus
for it.
Can help.
It can. For the really busy days.
It did help us a few days. But if you know how to play your cards right, you can get on a lot of rides in a relatively short time. We're going to keep that secret for future episodes.
Yeah.
That way you want to come back and keep listening. But we did get on 4 rides. Luke, again, the kid just, I think, loves rides and is going to love rides. On Tuesday morning, we went to Magic Kingdom 2 mornings in a row, Monday and Tuesday morning.
Monday, you're forgetting something that was very fun.
We're going to get back to that.
Oh.
I do know what you're talking about, but we are going to get there.
Okay.
Monday and Tuesday, because I want to talk kind of about how we handled the park.
You
know what I mean? Like, we got on all those rides. He did fall asleep on It's a Small World.
He did. He was really
Effective
tired,
use
though.
of the time
he was
of
really tired, and it was just a
world.
lot to look at, so he was just like, yeah, I'm going to go to sleep.
So that's what we did when we first got to the park. We did not quite rope drop. We got there a little after opening.
Yeah.
But still, within the first hour and a half of being there, both days we had rode 4 rides.
Yeah.
So highly effective use of our time. We also took good use of the photo pass.
Yes. We purchased the memory maker.
My favorite photo from the whole trip is a photo pass photo. These are trained professionals, take beautiful pictures. Rachel can talk about how you buy memory maker and that whole process.
And they're used to kids and families. Like, they know what they're doing.
But the picture that they captured of him standing in front of Cinderella, it's my favorite. It's now background on my phone. Like, I absolutely love this
And he's in his My
photo.
First Disney Trip shirt, and it really is. And he's laughing, and it is so cute. And
so take advantage of the photo pass and specifically
you were hesitant, and I told you, no, we have to do it. And
okay, you were right.
Thank you.
So it is an additional fee, though.
It is an additional fee.
It's going to cost you more money.
But for someone that's usually behind the camera, like myself, trying to get all these pictures, you are now in those pictures as well.
Right.
And you don't have to worry about taking them and making them look nice. They're professional cameras. They come out really clear. They're beautiful. So definitely worth it, in my opinion.
Also definitely worth it. First haircut.
First haircut.
We took Luke to the Harmony Barbershop on Main Street, USA. Mm-hmm. And this was an experience. It cost me $28.
Best $28. I think
it probably was the best $28 that we have ever spent at Disney World.
And if we ever have another kid, it is happening again.
It was incredible. Our Barbress, the lady
the
hairdresser, who cut his hair was fantastic. She cut his hair in like 5 minutes.
Quick. And she said she usually gets the first haircut, so she's really used to doing the babies fast. And
unbelievable experience. She did a great job. Yeah. Luke didn't even know that it was happening.
Had no idea. We did have a spinny light toy, though, that he was focused on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we kept him entertained. But literally, right at the end, I think she went to do the front of his hair. And then he kind of looked back like,
it's like,
who's touching?
What are you doing?
What is happening? But Mark and I were on either side of him, so I think maybe he kind of thought maybe one of us was doing it. But then he was like, wait a minute, someone else is back here doing it.
But you get a certificate.
Yeah.
You get a Mickey hat that embroidered on the back. It says
my first haircut.
My first haircut. you get a lock of his hair.
$28. In this really cute little baggie, and
$28. It cost me $20 to get the little hair on my head cut for $28 for him to have that experience.
I mean, just that hat alone.
Right. Just and my father got it on camera, and your sister got it on camera, and some incredible pictures. My second favorite picture from the trip is a picture taken from the back of
he's looking
his
into
face
a mirror.
in a mirror and the smiling, hat on, and it's unbelievable. Totally worth it.
They combed his hair, they parted it, and he just looked like such a big boy.
If you have a little one who is ready for the first haircut while you're there, I highly, highly, highly suggest this experience.
Honestly, even if it's not their first haircut, you can still get my first haircut in Disney.
Sure.
Like, even if they're a little bit older and they're not really their first haircut, but
it's worth it.
It is really cool if you can do it as their actual first one. So, I teared up. I was crying.
Well, after that emotional experience, we went back to the beach club, did our break at the pool, and then we had another emotional experience with pizza at Via Napoli in Epcot.
This is a spiritual, emotional experience at Via Napoli.
I don't care how many times I go there. That restaurant, again and again, continues to impress me.
It's funny, because they don't know, listeners don't know, but you know that I, at home, am not a big pizza fan.
That's correct.
Like, just doesn't really do much for me. I'd have to be, like, in the mood for it. Here is actually surprising because I ordered pasta. For some reason, I really just wanted the pasta. I know it's house-made. It's fresh. I know.
Shame be ever upon you.
Listen. I got to have some pasta, and I got 2 pieces of pizza from your mom because she wasn't going to eat a whole individual one. I took a bite, and I looked at Mark, and I said, I don't know why you let me order pasta because I forgot how good this was.
I told her not to.
I know. I just really wanted pasta for some reason. So, my mistake. But now I definitely have to remember this moment. Every time I go to Via Napoli, I'm getting the pizza. Because from the first bite to the crust, I could probably just eat the crust. Like, it is so good. It's something about the brick ovens,
the imported water, and the flour water from Italy, and whatever else.
Because in Florida, that water is a little from the tap.
Florida swamp water.
Kind of swampy tasting if you've ever had just tap water in Disney or anywhere in Florida. So the fact that they take the extra step and they import the water to make the pasta, because I heard, and I would assume that this is probably true, but I heard that if you cook spaghetti or pasta with the Florida water, it does taste different because of the minerals and stuff that are in, like, the Florida tap water. So they want to make sure that that doesn't happen. So they import water from Italy to make sure it tastes its authentic self. And it's worth it.
So worth it.
So worth it.
Absolutely delicious. After indulging in Via Napoli, we rolled ourselves around World Showcase, checked out some of the food and wine booths, we rode some rides,
some drinks,
all that stuff.
Yeah.
Next day, we went back to Magic Kingdom, as I already mentioned. And then from Magic Kingdom, we went over to Whispering Canyon for lunch at the Wilderness Lodge. Again, a great place, especially if you don't plan on going back to your hotel in the middle of the day. You don't necessarily have to go back to your hotel.
Yeah.
You can take a break by going to another hotel.
You don't have your room. And
probably
you don't have,
can't get inside
stuff.
Their pool. But you can eat in their restaurants. You can go in their shops and their stores. You can hang out in their lobby. Yep. And Wilderness Lodge is one of the most beautiful lobbies. I would argue it's my favorite lobby in all of Walt Disney World. Even Animal Kingdom? Wilderness Lodge is top.
Wow. But
Jumbo House is second. But
second. All right.
They are 1 and 2.
I'm sure if Mark, if the listeners out there have seen Wilderness Lodge's lobby, I think Mark would be very happy if that was just like his house.
I would be.
Sorry, Mark, but that's not my aesthetic. But I appreciate it. It is beautiful. I just wouldn't want to live in it. But I appreciate the mountainous rusticness of it. Mm-hmm. It is very nice. It is. The barbecue there at Whispering Canyon is also very nice.
It is. It's very good. And if you've never been to Whispering Canyon, it's a fun experience. You have to go and leave your pride at the door.
You do.
Like, they intentionally are going to give you a hard time, and there's hijinks, and my father got, like, a supersized mason jar of Diet Coke.
I kind of want to know where they got that mason jar.
And,
And then he needed this
We
big
got a
straw,
bill.
and they taped it together. 2 big straws together. He taped it with blue tape and was like, here you go. Now stop complaining.
He got a lightning lane to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Like, it's funny. They give you a hard time.
The receipt paper was, like, so long, like 10 feet long. He, like, from where he checked out the receipt, like, at the register, he brought it all the way to the table, so it was just this long row of receipt. It was really funny.
Ask for ketchup when you go. Like, there's a lot of hijinks, but
yeah,
it's a lot of fun.
find out what happened.
It's a lot of fun. And from there, we went back to the beach club. Again, took our break, our afternoon break, and then we went and spent some time at Epcot and did some food and wine that evening, which was really nice.
And Luke stayed with us that night.
He did.
He was a trooper.
He was a trooper.
He slept again.
The next day was...
Wait, was that the night we watched?
We did watch...
That was cool.
That's a good point,
yeah,
yes.
Go back. Go rewind. Don't go to the last day yet.
After the festival, we went back to the pool.
We didn't want to be in the park when the fireworks were happening. We thought it might be a little too loud. We didn't have his little headphones things, and he was kind of sleepy, so we were like, you know what, we'll just go back. He did wake up when we got back. He was full of energy because it was a late nap. It was like a 7 to 8:30 nap. And went in the pool, and 9 o'clock on the dot, because we're so close to Epcot, the fireworks started, and we were in the beach club pool, and you could see, not the low ones, but you could see all of the high ones.
You can see a good deal of them, and it's
so
he
cool was
experience.
Pointing at them, and he did see them, so that was, I think, a really good experience of first fireworks without being, like, right in it. The Magic Kingdom, I think they're kind of further off, so they're not as loud, but Epcot, you're right there. They shoot them off right in the lagoon, so it's right there. But that was a really cool night.
That was.
It was a late night, but it was really cool.
And the next day was a very cool day, but it was our last day.
Yeah.
So sad.
Last full day.
I need some tissues. We went to Animal Kingdom again because your family had not been to Animal Kingdom yet. We did a lot that morning.
Whew,
again,
I think too much.
Highly effective day and use of our time. We did a ton of rides. We ended up staying until 3 p.m., which is a lot longer than we normally would.
Which is not what we recommend usually, but we judged people's demeanor, and we were okay. Luke was okay, a little sweaty, but was taking his naps, and we took breaks and stuff. So it was a little long morning, but we did a lot.
We did. And by far, the highlight was
meeting Moana, because Luke is crazy about Moana.
He is.
That is his favorite movie. I don't really even know where it came from. I think one of the songs just popped up like on YouTube, and he just really liked that song. And then it was just that one song, and then it was like, oh wait, there's more very similar to it. And then it was the soundtrack. And then we were like, oh, let's put on the movie. And then that was it.
Now the kid watches it multiple times a day.
He loves Moana.
He laughs. So sick of Moana.
I am Moana.
At least she's not shiny.
Wow. Okay. But yes, it was. We waited a long time.
We did.
So
we
how
waited
they,
almost an hour.
Yeah. How they did it was we couldn't really see the line queue. So they kind of took like groups of people at a time. So you kind of were waiting, and then they took like 10 or so families, like groups, and then they got to meet her, and then they took another set. So it wasn't, you were standing still a lot of the time, where if it was a regular line where like every time a person leaves you moved up, maybe it wouldn't have seemed as long, but it was just because you were just standing there for such a long time. But
totally worth it.
Totally worth it. He was all smiles, reached out with his little finger and wanted to touch her finger, because that's what he does with us, and then he leaned forward out of my arms to put his head on her shoulder to give her a hug, and again collectively, aww. And she was so happy. She was like, oh, you can come back and visit. And she was so nice, and we got some really great pictures from the Photo Pass too. So in Memory Maker also includes all of your characters and ride attraction photos as well. So we got all of those. His dad had a video camera, and my sister also recorded on a phone. So we have the video footage of that as well. Definitely
may have been the last day, but it may have been the highlight of the trip. I think
it was well worth it. We were all kind of teary-eyed, and he was just he's so lovable. I mean, he is just so lovable, and he has such a good demeanor, but he recognized her. He knew it was her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was very happy. And I was like, you know what? If we had to wait an hour for anything...
He's not going to remember.
No, he won't. But we will.
We will. And he can look at pictures someday and see how happy he was to meet his hero.
Use it as, like, blackmail or something.
Maybe. So after our long day at Animal Kingdom and meeting Moana and all that excitement, he ended up staying with the grandparents at the hotel. Yes. And the two of us and your sister went out to Magic Kingdom one last
night. Should we sing?
If you must.
That's okay.
One last time.
Relax.
Have a Dole Whip with me one last time.
It's from Hamilton, if people do not know what the heck we are singing.
So we went out to Magic Kingdom and we got to ride a few rides. I get to have my...
Well, I didn't get to ride some of those rides because I got some...
Pineapple vanilla swirl Dole
so we
Whip,
got
which was delicious.
We got some Dole Whip. I got to ride Haunted Mansion, which I didn't get to ride
yet. And then we
had
our last sleep in the beach club. Yeah. And then the next morning we woke up and we went to the Ale and Compass restaurant. Very good. I highly recommend Ale and Compass. Oh, how could I forget at Animal Kingdom we went to Yak and Yeti? How could I forget Yak and Yeti?
Oh my God.
Okay, that was very dramatic.
I know. I just felt like it matched your energy. I was trying to match it.
Let's tone it down a little.
Okay, sorry.
We went to Yak and Yeti, as
favorite.
always. Very good. Very good.
So
highly
good.
suggest
I
Yak
can't
and Yeti.
even. I think I overheard our waiter telling the other table, which I guess I didn't realize because I knew it was just Asian cuisine, but on the menu, they have Thai food. They have, I believe you said, like, Chinese. They have some Japanese. They have, like, it's like all kinds. So it is Asian as an umbrella.
It's Asian inspired, yes.
Yeah, because there is a little taste of different type of Asian cuisine. So, very good. I've only had the same thing there. Mm-hmm. I have tried the burger there that you love, but I've never had a bad meal.
The Kobe beef burger, man, so good.
Chicken lo mein.
So good.
All the way.
And the noodles, let's not get started on the noodles.
So good. Never had a bad meal there. Amazing. Very good to top off our Animal Kingdom experience.
And the vacation.
But the next morning, we went to Ale and Compass
for breakfast.
And that is when our cinnamon bun hero of the chef.
Chef Adam, the cinnamon bun hero.
Adam was his name. And it always comes down to the end of the vacation where I am usually ready to go home and get back to some normalcy, I guess. I kind of like routine, and I get to the end, and it was a long vacation. We were gone for 2 weeks, not just in Disney, but just in total. So it was a long time, and we have a dog at home, and we missed her. But Mark sings a different tune, and he's always just very, very sad.
I am.
But
I don't want to leave Mickey's house.
I know. Isn't there a story when you were little that you were crying?
There is, yes. I was crying that I didn't want to leave Mickey's house.
How old were you?
I don't know, probably like 5 or something.
And you just
was
did not
hysterical that I had to leave Mickey's house.
Well, he still gets that way.
I still get that way.
Maybe he holds back his tears a little bit, but he still pouts.
I don't actively cry, but I do pout a lot.
Yes,
so
he pouts the last day.
Anyways, we flew home. The flight home was much better than the flight there. It was more bumpy, more turbulent.
It was a little more turbulent,
but no delays, which was lovely.
Just in and out. Done.
And so was the vacation, unfortunately. Yeah. And now I'm back to work, and you're going back to work soon and planning Disney trips and other work stuff that you do. So, well, folks, I guess much like the end of our vacation, this episode of our podcast has also come to an end.
It has.
So as always, if you want to see some of those highlights of our vacation, some of those pictures, be sure to check out our social media accounts, our Instagram and our Facebook page. You can also check out Rachel's Mickey Travels page as well.
Yep, I have some highlights on there as well.
Updates. If you have any questions or comments for us, feel free to reach out to us at startswithawish.podcast@gmail.com.
You're getting good.
I am getting good. With that, friends, as always, remember, it all starts with a wish. We'll see you real soon.
Bye.